Welcome to Biopilates Deep Dive. Today we'll explore a classic, demanding, and fundamental exercise, the shoulder bridge in its neutral version without spinal articulation and vertebral mobilization. Take your place on the mat. Lie down. The knees are bent, the feet flat, placed slightly closer to the pelvis than in the abdominal prep. The legs are parallel, abducted to hip width. The arms rest by your sides, palms facing down. The shoulder blades are anchored. The pelvis and spine are in a neutral position. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, engage your center and lift the pelvis in one piece without rolling through the spine. This isn't about articulation. You're rising into a neutral alignment, driven solely by hip extension until you create a straight line from your shoulders to your knees. Today, I'd like to discuss two key muscles involved in this movement, the gluteus maximus and the biceps femoris. The gluteus maximus is superficial and powerful. It originates from the ilium, sacrum, and coccyx and inserts onto the gluteal tuberosity of the femur and the iliotibial tract. It's the primary engine for hip extension and a key stabilizer for the pelvis. The biceps femoris lies deeper and belongs to the hamstring group. Its long head originates from the ischial tuberosity. The short head is from the femur's linea aspera. They insert on the head of the fibula, contributing to both hip extension and posterior stabilization. Let's go deeper into how the nervous system shapes this movement. When you ask the extensors to activate, your brain must inhibit the flexors, the psoas, iliacus, and rectus femoris. One single gesture, two opposing messages, perfectly synchronized. This is known as reciprocal inhibition. When one muscle group activates, its antagonist is automatically relaxed by an inhibitory interneuron in the spinal cord. Behind this mechanism, two key neurotransmitters come into play, acetylcholine and GABA. Acetylcholine is the messenger of action. It is released at the neuromuscular junction and triggers voluntary contraction. When released by a motor neuron, it opens the muscle fiber's ion channels, causes depolarization, and then causes contraction. At the same time, GABA, gamma-aminobutyric acid, is the gatekeeper of relaxation. Released by inhibitory neurons, it prevents the transmission of nerve impulses to muscles that should remain at rest. It calms muscle tone, eliminates unnecessary contraction, and prevents rigid co-contraction. Thanks to this finely tuned neurochemical system, you can engage your glutes through acetylcholine while inhibiting your hip flexors via GABA. Contraction becomes directional, movement becomes fluid, coordination becomes visible, and all of this takes place in the synapse, these tiny neuronal junctions that filter, adapt, and fine-tune our movement. The shoulder bridge becomes a synaptic action, a deeply embodied intelligence. Return to your bridge now. Inhale, stabilizing the hips in extension. Exhale, lift one leg, maintaining pelvic neutrality. Extend the knee, point the toes. Inhale, then exhale. Lower the extended leg to hip height without letting the pelvis drop. Inhale again, lift the leg to the ceiling. Exhale, bend the knee and return the foot to the mat. Continue on the other side. Perform 2 to 3 repetitions on each side. Then to finish, lower the pelvis in one block, still in neutral, no spinal articulation. Progressive variations, the simple bridge, just lifting and lowering the pelvis without lifting a leg. People often think this is easy, but actually it's not, because there's a real risk of mobilizing the spine out of habit. Not everyone manages to stay neutral during the first try. Why? Because neutral isn't a posture we use naturally in daily life. It's a position we learn and refine in the Stott Pilates method. It requires time, awareness, and repetition. To perform the partial leg lift, lift one foot a few centimeters with the knee bent. In this variation, lifting a foot just 2 centimeters without rotating the pelvis is far from easy. You need to concentrate. Without focus, there's no stability. The bridge with fitness circle. Place a circle between the knees. Add gentle resistance, engage the adductors, and feel the inner line of stability. And I often say this to my students, what starts as a simple lift of the pelvis becomes, with single leg balance work, a complex and challenging exercise. It demands strength, yes, but also coordination, softening where needed, and a deep sense of center. It's never just about up and down. It's about organizing, stabilizing, and inhabiting your axis. Thank you for listening, and I look forward to the next episode of Biopilates Deep Dive.